Good morning and welcome to Valley Views. I'm your host, Glenn Edison, and certainly glad to have you. And we want to thank our supporter, BTC Fiber, who sponsors our program. You can see this program on BTC Fiber's cable channel 18 as well as BTC Fiber's YouTube page. And today we have with us, Walmart store manager Drew Prater. And Drew, it's good. Drew Panter, It's good to have you today, and we appreciate having you.
Thank you.
And of course, I guess everybody in Dunlap and the surrounding area wanting to know about, about everything that's going on in Walmart. But first of all, how long has Walmart been in Dunlap?
We were actually built in 2007.
2007.
Yes, when we opened up 2007. And this is actually the first remodel of our store here in Dunlap since 2007. So
14 years.
Yeah, it's been needing one for a while.
Well, does the remodeling, does corporate go around and remodel all the stores? I mean, is that part of their plans? Do they do that nationwide or worldwide?
They do try to keep it regional. I know, like for instance, this year we've got several in Chattanooga that will be going through remodel. Typically, it's slated for every certain number of years, and they'll come in and do. They might do a minor touch up or a major remodel, and this it is a very major remodel. So
yeah. Now I know. Excuse me. When's the remodeling scheduled to complete?
So our grand opening date is July 2nd.
July 2nd. Okay.
Yep. Just ready for right in time for the July 4th weekend. So July 2nd.
Well, that's good. Now I know, from my understanding, all the remodeling is done at night. Is that correct? When you're closed?
That is correct.
So you got a whole crew that works. When y'all go home, they come in, basically.
Yeah. So the way it works is we of course have a construction manager, and we have several subcontractors that come in and work for a construction manager. And then also, in order to get the work done inside, as far as moving counters, moving departments, a lot of the stuff that goes on inside on the shelves, we actually bring in a third-party group because it requires typically 35 to 40 people per night. And I know we went in and hired and continue to hire actually prior to the remodel to help us out with that as well.
Well, I know that's every time I've gone in there, and I've got to go today. Every time I go in there, I'm thinking, where is this? Let me find. And is there? I guess corporate has their rhyme and reason about why they change things. And
for instance, most Supercenters as it is now, we were actually a little bit different the way our store was set up. If you notice, our pets was in the front right-hand corner of the building. Now it's actually moved back over to the rest where grocery and paper and chemicals are. In general, whenever they go through and remodels, the stores are not set that way to have all consumables on one side of the building, with the exception of pharmacy, HBA, and cosmetics. That does get moved over just because it is, the way pets is viewed, it is a consumable, and sometimes it's a pain to do all your grocery shopping and then have to walk all the way to the other side of the building to get some dog food or cat food. So a lot of it is set. Most floor plans now will, despite the size of the buildings, will pretty much read almost the same. Mm-hmm.
So they try to get all the stores made, no matter the size, the same.
And when possible, the layout, and just like if you notice, for instance, any store you go in, whether it's Hickson or Kimball or Saudi, the pets department is actually, if it's not moved already, it will be moving back towards where grocery is in general. They do try to set up some sort of uniform guide for the customers.
Well, that's that's good. Will there be a map when you start?
Actually, the easiest thing to do right now is if you go on the Walmart app. Once you enter the building, it'll automatically tell you which building you're in through your location settings. So when you step in Dunlap Walmart, and let's say you search for let's just say Tide laundry detergent, and you type that in, it'll actually come back and it'll say, for instance, located aisle A13. And if you notice at the end of each aisle, there'll be a letter and a number, and that is the actual location of that aisle. So yeah, it is all mapped out, and so the easiest thing to do is just pull up your Walmart app, type it in, it'll take you right to it.
Oh, well, that might be easier to do now. It might even be easier to do my shopping now.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm very sorry. I know there's changes in the store. Are there departments that are either going to be taken out or added, or anything changing there?
As far as nothing taken out, now there are more actual SKUs added into grocery. I think the biggest effect is something that the customer doesn't really see, and that is our back room and our lounge and our our freezers and coolers, because with how fast online grocery pickup is expanding, we basically had, I want to say maybe 20% of our current back room was set up as a staging area for online grocery pickup items. So we pick the items for the customer, stage it, and then they come in and get it. Well, more of that back room was now taken on because the growth of this is so fast that we added in an additional cooler, freezer. So it added in, we're probably about half and half now as far as actually store back room versus online grocery pickup back room. It's about 50-50 now. So that is one space that continues to just always grow, is the online grocery pickup side of business.
Well, I know we've done that as well at times, and I know many others have. And I was going to ask you, has that grown? But I'm pretty sure it has.
Yeah, and just to give you an idea, I wasn't raised in Dunlap, and but I was actually raised. My childhood was down near Deckard, Tennessee, a smaller town like Dunlap, but. I've been here 3 years now as a store manager, and I absolutely love this city. And to give you an idea of the growth that we're actually currently going through, this past month alone, we were up 10% in sales over last year.
Really?
Which is actually the fastest growing store in the Chattanooga area.
Really?
Last year we finished up second in our Chattanooga market as far as percentage sales growth over the previous year. So when you look at the last 2 years combined, we're sitting at almost 25% sales growth.
Wow, that's great.
So to run, in 2 years to be up 25%, that's really, really booming. And this past year, it was such a difficult challenge to go through, of course.
Right.
But definitely adding that online grocery pickup piece to the business helped really expand our sales growth.
Well, I realize that because a lot of people are still not. Well, it's convenient for one, because they can sit at home and pick out, and also when, for example, if I ordered an item and you didn't have it, how do you work that?
So actually, you can, whenever you place your order, you can actually set it up to whether or not you're willing to take a substitution on that item. So let's say that you order Bush's baked beans for let's say it's $1.50 a can or whatever it is, and you order that. And when it comes up to pick, if you have a substitution marked, then that tells the personal shopper that they can then go and pick a similar item to that. They would scan it, then it would actually pop in your email, do you approve of this substitution? And then you would okay it, and then they would pull that. Now, if substitutions are not marked for a particular item, it basically will just nil pick it, it won't pick it at all. But if there's ever a price difference, let's say a substitution we find is $2 when your Bush's baked bean can is $1.50, it'll price it at that $1.50, so the customer isn't paying any extra, and you still get the merchandise. So.
Oh, well, that's neat. That helps.
Mm-hmm.
And and I know I've talked to many people that do the online shopping, and to them they just feel safer, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's convenient. Like times we've done, you just pull up and call, and it's brought out to you. So there's not much you.
Yeah, we it's great at the store because we actually have the lowest wait time of any store. We average about a 2 to 3 minute wait time from the time that you pull up to the time the groceries are out in your vehicle. So we do have a good, quick crew, and I know that they're always getting a lot of compliments how courteous they are. And you're right, the online grocery pickup piece of business was vital during this past year. With there's a lot of customers that had some health ailments who didn't feel comfortable coming inside the building to shop. And so having that really helped provide the security to the customers.
Right, and you still have that for your pharmacy as well, don't you?
Yes, we do. We still offer that as well. Correct.
Well, I know I've used it for the pharmacy because I have most of my medicines there as well, and so it's handy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the I know our Walmart store does not have an automotive or certain areas that some of the other larger supercenters have. Is that anywhere in the plans in the future? Or is it?
No, it's not. It's I know at the original scope, whenever the building was built in 2007, there was some definitely some sensitivity there to the impact that it might do to local tire shops and automotive shops here around town, and that's something Walmart chose to not do, and we are not adding that in. No.
All right, so you're not really trying to compete. You're
No.
just trying to be part of the community.
Exactly, yes, sir.
And I know y'all do a lot of things with the community. You
Oh, yes.
do a lot of help. You provide a lot of things for the community, the schools, and anything pretty much that's asked, y'all pretty much help.
Yes, sir.
And so I know that for a fact because I've seen and been a part of some of that stuff. So,
Yeah, and that's something as a leader for our store that I'm very passionate about, is making sure that we give back to the community, because the community of Dunlap and Sequatchie County is what puts food on our tables at work. So it is our responsibility to do what's right for our community, and I know we definitely did that with COVID supplies over this past year, or school supply donations. We're very heavily involved in the schools and making sure that kids have the supplies they need.
Well, I know, I guess it's not a negative, but going to the self-checkout, I know Walmart is taking a big hit on that, and everybody's had their opinion and thought that employees were done away with and all that. And I know that's not true, but how has that impacted the shopping with all the self-checkout?
So, trust me, I'm very aware that's something that not all customers like having. And I do think one of the biggest misperceptions is, and it's, I completely see why people think that, but to think that jobs are taken away by adding those self-checks in, when in actuality we actually have to hire more people, because what it takes is there's more registers on the front end, and it requires 2 associates for every 4 registers all day every day.
Oh, okay.
So while there's not as many manned registers opened, we have a lot more registers available to use, which requires a lot more associate hours to be used. And hopefully, I know there's been some talk, but hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to add some more manned registers back in. I know that's been a possible topic. I'm not sure yet, but But definitely, if anybody ever feels uncomfortable about using those registers, ask. And my team knows. I've spoken to them and made sure that they still are there to check customers out if they need assistance.
Well, there are still aren't there a couple of registers that, or maybe more than that, I'm not familiar, that you do have someone there to help?
Yeah, and if you notice the self-checkouts now, the actual bagging area is expanded out, and,
Yes.
and that's what that really is for. It's for those larger baskets to where if someone does need assistance with getting checked out, we have that bigger area to help bag groceries or merchandise for the customer.
Well, that's convenient. I've noticed that when I've been in there, and I think that's I really like that part of it. It's really convenient. And how many? Going back to the pickup on the shopping, I know you see. I see them all the time in there shopping. You know, every time I've been in there. Did you have to add extra employees to do this shopping?
Oh yeah. And actually, and it's this way for almost every Supercenter now, it is the heaviest staffed area in the building. We have roughly anywhere typically between 170 and 180 associates, and you know, that alone, the online grocery pickup area alone, we have anywhere from typically about 25 associates working. You know, most days we'll have anywhere from eight to 10 people, but of course you spread that out over a week. And but yeah, it's the heaviest staffed area of the building. Typically that, and then third shift as well.
And I've kind of felt sorry for them recently, because I know with them moving all the food items and everything there, because I've been looking for stuff, and I see them searching for stuff because they can't find it because it's been moved. You know, when you're used to where it was. And
that is sort of a disadvantage of while I love it, and the disadvantage of having a smaller Supercenter, a lot of times you'll be able to have more temporary counters set up to where as they go through the remodel process, they're able to move around and temporarily locate some stuff. We don't have that luxury. We're a smaller store, so but yeah, that's definitely every morning after the mod set the previous night. That's something we're always trying to do, is go back in and make sure that we locate it to that aisle. And so I know it's been definitely a challenging struggle of being able to locate that merchandise. But if you look at our actual first-time pick rate, which is what online grocery shoppers, what they go for, is basically the percentage that is picked that initial first time. It actually has not even fallen a bit from pre-remodel to now. So they're doing an outstanding job.
Well, good. And I noticed in some of the departments, like your toys and the tools, it seems like they've expanded some.
Oh yeah. And our bike rack now,
it's really nice.
It's enough, I think, to have a bicycle for almost every citizen done. I mean, it is one of the biggest bike racks you'll see. And so we're always trying to get assemblers in there to help build the bikes. But yeah, also our tool, we have what's called a tool world now, which is a section of steel throughout hardware. More display tools will be going up, and also, if you notice, our paint counter has actually combined with our sporting goods counter now, so it's all one counter. So that's all one counter there as well. But also, I know we've expanded out. Also, the steel where we have water. So now we're actually to go in and able to park water pallets in the steel to where it's not constantly holding, a shelf holding our 10 to 12 packages, versus you're able to drop entire pallets, which makes it a lot easier for customers as well.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's one thing I noticed the other day when I was on that aisle, and I thought, well, this is kind of neat. It's just right there. And I noticed that's where some of your aisles are wider.
Yeah, there's some counters that are coming out. There's no decreased SKUs at all on the food side of the building. But some of I know they're actually this week they're starting in home lines. If you notice, now currently there's a split in home lines to where there's end caps on each end. Those actually will combine together to make just solid aisles. So you're able, by taking those end caps off, actually to expand out the number of items, you decrease your amount of possibility for feature space, but you're able to add in more SKUs. So, and if you notice too, our jewelry, we're no longer going to have a jewelry showcase, but we'll have spinner racks that are up there towards the front of apparel. And they're going through now and working in apparel and home. So it'll be very, very nice when they're all done.
So just not like the counter, jewelry counter like you had.
Correct. Correct.
Well, excuse me. Well, that's kind of neat. Like I say, I've enjoyed walking to the store because it's an adventure, I guess, right now. And because I'm having to ask constantly when I'm in there now, saying, where is this located? Where? And sometimes they sit there and have to think just a minute and say, oh yeah, it's right over here.
Yeah, and I know it's definitely, it can be definitely inconvenient at times through the remodel process for the customer, but when we get out through it here beginning of July, it's going to be a great store. Much needed improvements. I know our bathrooms are finished now as well, thank goodness. and that's something that was definitely
that was an inconvenience.
Oh, it was terrible, but at the same time there was almost nothing that could be avoided about it, because our restrooms actually were all using the same line. So men's, women's, and the family restroom, you couldn't just shut down one. You have to shut down them all in order to work on them. So we went through that. That's all done and behind us, thank goodness. But that's something definitely I apologize to the community that anyone had to deal with that. But definitely our restrooms are open and a lot nicer. So.
Well, what is the area up there that crossing the customer service, that new area that was boxed in?
So that is new as well, and that gives you an idea. That's sort of that sort of shows you how much the online grocery business has expanded out, because where my office used to be and where the associate lounge used to be actually is now also part of the online grocery back room. So what the new room that was built right across the service desk, that is actually our personnel area now. So where associates will come in and do computer-based training, and that's also where we'll have an orientation class for new associates as well. So that was an addition, add-on to the building, but that was all to make room for the fast growing piece of the business. So,
well, that's great, and I'm assuming that that grocery business has been that way across Walmart as a whole.
Yeah, it definitely are. The Chattanooga market. We actually have the most orders coming in on a weekly basis in the entire region, and there's roughly 170 stores in our region, and the Chattanooga market in general. It is just booming. You know, you look at both North and South Cleveland are two of the heaviest online grocery pickup stores in entire Southeast. So
really?
They're that growing that fast.
Well, maybe they need to move their offices down this way. That probably won't happen. And you said you had roughly did you say 180 employees? Or
it just depends. Anywhere between 170 to 180 associates typically, yes.
And how many like on a shift do you have?
So, and something else the customer might have noticed, we used to, as a whole, the company decided to go back and make some changes on the way we do things now, to where all the stocking now is pushed back on third shift again. We were doing it for, I want to say, almost 2 years, to where second shift was helping out with a lot of the stocking, and third shift as well. But now all that's pushed to third shift, to where they stock all the groceries in the building, and typically there's anywhere from just depending on the night, 10 to 20 third shift associates working. Just depends on the size of the trucks and which night it is. So,
well, I know during the pandemic, around the start, of course everybody was like this. You couldn't get toilet paper, and everybody's buying it like crazy, and like it's going out of style, I guess. And I guess they still have supplies, some of them.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know people got frustrated when they come in and couldn't find it, couldn't get it, because I'm sure y'all were putting it out as quick as y'all can get it.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we got in pallets, we were putting them out, and it even got to the point even that a lot of our customers that work during the day couldn't get any because they couldn't get off in time to shop. So there for a little bit, we actually also put some out each shift. That way it was for the people that work 8 to 5, 9 to 5 jobs, that they still have the opportunity to come in and purchase those supplies. So yeah, that was a challenging part of the year, definitely.
Well, Drew, is there anything that you need to include that we haven't mentioned today?
No, other than I just wanted again, thank you for the invitation to come on and talk about our store. I definitely love the city of Dunlap, and anything that I or our store can do to help the community, we're always there. And definitely want to thank the customers for the patience getting us through this remodel. I know it's inconvenient, but only almost 4 more weeks to go, and we'll be out of this, and it's been a much needed improvement. We're glad to get it done and get it done for the community.
Well, good. Well, folks, go to Walmart and see all the new innovations and renovations, and you'll be able to see this interview on BTC Fiber's YouTube page. So go there, like and subscribe to the YouTube page, as well as follow, like us on the Facebook page. And you'll see this also on cable channel 18. Thank you. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.
Brought to you by Bledsoe Telephone Cooperative, your full-service telecommunications provider right here in the Sequatchie Valley.